Welcome back to the 5th and final episode of my challenge run, where we see if we can beat Final Fantasy X by swapping jobs with another character. And yes, this is the final part of the series, and as you can see, Sid is very sad, and I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but there will be more content to come. In the last episode, we had just won the Blitzball League with our goalkeepers, and before that we had just defeated Unaleska, and now we're ready to go and face Sin. But before we go face Sin, we have to go break the news to Micah. Well, we don't have to, but we choose to, so let's see how that goes.
We did meet her.
We fought and defeated her.
What? You have profaned and subverted a 1,000-year-old tradition. Fools, infants, do you realize what you've done? You've taken away the only means of calming Sin. There is no other way. The only thing that could have pierced that armor, you have destroyed. Nothing can stop it now.
So yeah, I think he took that pretty well.
Disappear on us, will you? Rotten son of a shoe puff.
Now we have some more very important information from the Faith, so listen carefully to this.
Hello.
Dream.
A dream?
You Yevon.
You Yevon. What do you know about you Yevon?
Sin.
Sin. You Yevon. Dreams.
Yeah, that's right.
Sin with you Yevon. You Yevon. Sin. You Yevon. Sin. You Yevon.
Huh?
You Yevon lives inside Sin.
Uh-huh.
Yuna, listen. You Yevon. Dream. Dream.
You've been dreaming.
I'm sorry. About what?
Oh, nothing.
Now that we have access to the airship, I'm going to use the search function and just go around Spira and collect all of the really cool weapons that are available. I do unlock the Omega Ruins, but I don't go there, to be honest, because there's no point. I'm just doing the main story quest. We get this really cool weapon for Kimahri, the Dragoon Lance, which has magic counter and evade encounter, which is really cool. And then we get the sonar weapon for Riku, which is fine, it's not great. I equip it on her anyway because it's kind of cool, I guess. And then we pick up this weapon for Tidus, which gives him double AP. But I don't really care for that. I'm happy with his Sonic Steel. It's got magic plus 10, and it's also got First Strike, which is really handy. I think we're ready to take on Sin. So Sin goes and does his thing and like blows up half of the world, and like we get this cutscene where you see him just like demolish half of the planet, like he just tears it to shreds. And you can actually fly around Spira after this, and everywhere is fine. Nothing actually goes wrong, and nothing really makes sense in this FMV. You see these explosions everywhere. I will admit it's very cool. This is very cool. But like you see this massive explosion, and it looks like the airship itself blows up, right? Like look at that, it's blown up. They're dead. And look at the world. The world is in shreds, but apparently everything's fine because once the cutscene is over, everyone is just chilling on the airship still, and they're like, oh okay, damn you old man. And yeah, now we've got to kill both of the wings on Sin, and then we have to like jump on Sin and kill some like weird little things that are attached to him, and then we have to kill his head. So yeah, these fights aren't very, you know, dramatic. Nothing really happens. Sin can't really do too much to hurt you. You know, he's the most powerful being in this game. He's the thing that is destroying Spira, but you know, when he's flying around, he's pretty chill. Maybe because the Hymn of the Faith is on, that's why he's chill. Oh yeah, that we did establish that.
The hymn's the key.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you too much of these fights because they're pretty basic. You sort of go inwards, you move the airship in, and it has a lot of armor. It took me quite a while to kill the Finns, I'll be honest, and I won't bore you with it because it was just like attack, 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 until eventually they die. And yeah, so that is one wing taken care of. So Sid pulls out his big guns now that we've hit its weak spot enough, and pow! Look at that, dead. That's one arm gone. And then we do the exact same thing on the second wing. This one takes a lot less time actually. I managed to defeat this one a lot quicker. The second wing goes down. Here comes the guns again. Pow! Yeah, this is really cool, just watching Sin be demolished like bit by bit. It's quite an epic fight, but yeah, we now jump onto his head, and it's time to fight the little monsters that are chilling on his head. We got this big old spot on the back of his head. That looks juicy, like that looks ripe to pop.
Disgusting!
And we also got this armoured thing, Very similar to the thing that we fought all the way back in Kilika on the first ever episode. Nice little throwback there. Yeah, not much to report on this fight either, really. You can actually end the fight just by killing the spot in the back, but I wanted to kill the this little thing too. Yeah, he goes for a Venom here, and that's fine because Lulu has counterattack. Well, hey, look at that. I love seeing Lulu counter things. I don't know why. It's just very cool because she never does that, you know? And I love seeing just how powerful this cactus is. And it makes sense that the cactus would be the powerful Moogle because it is a cactus. And I imagine if that thing ran at ya and then kicked you in the face, it would probably hurt. So, you know. And Yuna as well, look at that, 9,000 damage. She's like nearly at quad 9, which is madness. Super, super powerful. Yuna is definitely my favourite character in the game and in just like this run. She just does really well. And you saw that he went back into his shell, but he got killed as he went into his shell, so he pops out of his shell again so that he can give us a nice and dramatic death. So I appreciate that from them. That was really, really nice of them to show us their face before they died. And now we're going for the spot, and there is no pop ability. You can't just pop all the pus out. Disgusting! You have to kill it. Walker's Firaga comes out. Yeah, not doing too much damage. Oh, that's okay because Yuna can do lots and lots of damage. Yeah, magic is kind of obsolete at this point, just because Walker's magic stat isn't like high enough, so he's just not doing enough. And Yuna's kind of just broken now. See that gravity attack that just came out? Quite strong, but it can't actually kill us, so we're fine. It only drops us down to like 3/4 of our health, similar to Demi, but a lot more powerful. And yeah, the fire attack it does after, also not very strong, but obviously once we've been gravaged, it does a lot more damage, you know. And yeah, we're just gonna use some armor break here so that everyone can do some strong hits against it. It's gathering up its energy, it's about to pop, it's gonna explode. Lulu's poisoned, but do we care about that? No, we don't. We just we know that she can take it. She's a boss, you know. Nothing can hurt Lulu. We do cure the poison off of her though. Oh, look at that, quad 9 damage. Oh, you gone for Blizzard, have you? Yeah, not gonna do much. This little boss gauntlet thing against Sin, it's not supposed to be hard. It's just a bit of fun to sort of whittle down his armor and, you know, chip bits off of him before we go inside and kill the actual Sin. There's no real threat of an actual game over. It's very easy to heal up your party. It doesn't do too much damage to us. I mean, Tidus did just die, but we've established that Tidus is a bit smelly and isn't very good at staying alive. But yeah, we get the overkill out, which is awesome, and then the spot is defeated.
Hey, the Faith, they're tired of this whole thing too. Let's let them rest.
The Faith said, "It's pointless to keep dreaming. The dream will disappear," he said. What did he mean?
I do feel kind of sorry for Yuna because Tidus doesn't actually tell her that he's going to disappear. He just sort of hides it because he doesn't want to hurt her. At the same time, she hid from him that she was going to die at the end of her pilgrimage, so maybe their relationship isn't as good as I thought it was. They're both very bad at communicating and being honest with each other. So, yeah, I mean, as much as I do love the story, the love story between these two, you know, there's an obvious flaw there, but it makes for a great dramatic ending, so I'll give it a pass, alright? I'll give it a pass.
I'm coming for you, Dad.
Daddy?
Now we're ready to tackle Sin head on so that we can create an opening and get inside his mouth and destroy him from the inside.
Okay, word.
And this fight, again, it's not meant to be too hard. The gimmick of this fight is that he has an overdrive gauge, and if that gauge fills up, he uses an attack that just gives us an instant game over. So, you know, if that doesn't come out, he really can't do much harm. So, unfortunately, I am going to skip ahead to the end of this fight. I know, I apologise, I'm skipping through these very quickly. But there's a lot to get through in this video, you know, it's the final part, and there's really just not enough here to show you that is very interesting. So, we get towards the end of it, he doesn't get his game over out on us, and we kill him. Now that we have made our way into Sin, it's time for some really, really difficult normal fights. And yeah, this part of the game, it's the final stretch, the final dungeon, so you can see that the enemies here are very powerful. This fight here I thought was quite interesting. We got 3 of these guys, and we always have trouble with these guys. Turns out they are weak to death, and I don't realise that in this run at all. so I do just try and attack them head on. And you'll see here that Lulu's accuracy has gotten a lot better. We're not struggling nearly as much as we were in the Mount Gagazet portion when we had these enemies and we were struggling to hit them. You'll see here in a minute she's doing a lot better. She's got higher accuracy and she is succeeding. We do also use aim in these fights because aim just gives us that little more boost to get it so that we can attack them. But yeah, the encounters in this part of the game are ruthless, and it's a very long stretch as well to get through the dungeon. And the map also isn't completed, so you're kind of running around blindly trying to get there. And oh yeah, you can see there, overkill. Nice, we landed a hit on them. Yeah, this part of the game is just like a slog. It's tricky, but it makes sense because it is the final dungeon, and you want it to be challenging. And it never felt too challenging. It's more that the enemies just have a lot of health and we end up having to use a lot of resources to get through them. But we're never struggling too much. Lulu did just kill Auron with her counter attack, but that's okay. We revived him. And yeah, you can see our bed potions now are doing 2,000. I did actually get a customizable weapon on Auron that has alchemy. So that's really interesting, and we got that from the big tortoise fights. You can steal these items from it, which can be crafted to create a alchemy weapon. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that battle to show you where Lulu's at. She's looking pretty good. Now, I'm going to show you this fight against the big tortoise man, the Adamantoise, and we fight loads of these guys. They're like everywhere in this part of the game. It feels like after every single other encounter, this guy pops up, and it's not a bad thing, to be honest. He's actually one of the easier fights of this area, mainly because he's super weak to sleep. So whenever we know he's about to attack, we just send in Lulu, send him to sleep, and then we're good. And he's also weak to armor break, so Yuna can use armor break, and then we kind of just use our 3 strongest hitters, which are Kimahri, Lulu, and Yuna, to just get his health down, and yeah, no problems at all. Having this alchemy weapon on, what's his name, Auron, is really handy as well, because it just makes our Albed potions super potent, and he becomes quite a good white mage when he's got alchemy. But yeah, I thought this fight was super exciting. We're getting all these hits in, and then he goes for an earthquake, and it's not doing too much damage. We're fine. We do have to use up a lot of our MP during this part, just because the battles here just do more damage to us, and we have to heal more. Lulu just don't give a f***. She is slapping anyone who comes in her way. Giant armored tortoise? No, mate. Do not hurt Lulu. She will slap the shit out of you. Yeah, so those are a couple of the fights that we have here, and yeah, it takes a long time, this part. I was getting very tired at this point. I was like, I just want to get to the next Seymour fight, you know. But yeah, you can see that was just one fight that happens multiple times through this long dungeon. So we do get to the save sphere eventually. And you can see there, Waka just learned double cast, which is very helpful. And Tidus has just learned full life and is now unlocked the path to get towards Lulu's grid. So checking out our stats here, Lulu's super powerful, man. Like, she's got such good everything, really. And so here is Yuna, 64 strength, looking nice. Kimahri's looking pretty good, got great agility, great strength, good defense. Magic defense is still an issue, it always is with Kimahri, but that's fine. And then Waka here's got pretty solid magic now, 49 magic, not bad. Good magic defense as well, and evasion. Also Auron is looking great, 49 agility, he's so quick, and 36 strength isn't too bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Tidus's magic looking great, 52, good magic defense. He's fine, you know, good agility too, but he's quite weak in the defense department. And Riku is still our weakest in terms of stats, but she ain't too bad, so yeah, let's get into the Seymour fight now, shall we? How on earth did Seymour get inside Sin? I don't know, maybe Sin just ate him, but it's never really explained. Yeah, he's full on crazy now. Let's kill him. Let's kill him for the final time.
Now nothing can stop us!
Well, we can.
She's got a point.
We get this super awesome boss battle music. It's a shame that the 1.5 speed modifier I'm using doesn't really do it justice. Take my word for it though, it's very cool. And I will say that about a lot of the music in this game, it's just got some really cool tracks. This song and the Via Purifico song is a bop, and the main theme to Zanarkand is also a bop. Like, it's got some great music. And the final boss battle, when we get there, the music there is really cool as well. But enough about the music, let's talk about the fight here. And Seymour has now turned into liquid. He is now a big liquid man thing. And he can use Firaga several times. And I went into this quite blind. I wasn't quite sure what he did. It's been a long time since I've fought this battle. And yeah, he uses Firaga like 4 times in a row. So it's quite dangerous. You do know what he is going to cast though. So you see those little pallets at the back of him? All the red ones are facing him, which means he's going to cast fire spells. You can see I use a Mega Phoenix there to get through that because yeah, the Firaga does way too much damage to us. So I was like, okay, I am not prepared for this. It's not looking too good for me. I need to go into this with a strategy. Now I remember that he casts 4 magic spells in a row. I can prepare better. You can see I'm learning. I'm using Null Blaze to get rid of the fire damage, and that makes this fight a lot easier. But yeah, he's powerful. He gets a lot of turns in as well. He's got a lot of speed. Yeah, 4 Firagas obviously isn't enough for Null Blaze. 1 person is unfortunately going to die. So Tidus is definitely a very strong character for this. We will be relying on Tidus quite a lot with his Null abilities. And there's of course different phases to this fight. But instead of having like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, this fight sort of has like a phase 1 and then like an alternate form, and then when he's in his alternate form he does some different stuff, and then he sort of reverts back to his normal form like this. Yeah, I'm just kind of scrambling around trying to stabilize, get everyone used, and then figure out a tactic on how to defeat him. And you'll see soon, it turns out to be quite tricky. I should have done some preparation beforehand, but I don't like looking stuff up online. I like to just go into a fight and see what happens, and if I die, I die. I just retry it again. So yeah, he's weak to Blizzard at the moment because he's in his fire form, so we get Kimahri to do that. But unfortunately he's going to use Firaga 4 times against 3 of our weaker defensive characters, so they unfortunately go down. He gets 4 Firagas out, and then I think he just gets another turn here, so he uses it again, and Walker's dead! So that's a bit sad. Let's retry this one again. Right, this time I ain't wasting any time. I'm getting Null Blaze out straight away with Tidus, and I'm also going to put Shell on some of our more important characters. So I know that Tidus is going to be very handy with his Null technique, so I get Shell out on him straight away because I want him alive, and Seymour here can only actually do magic attacks, so we're pretty safe to just go with Shell on our important characters. We don't need to do Protect or anything like that. And you can see there Shell made it so that Tidus only took 1000 damage from his Firaga, which is lovely. That is what we want. And it turns out Seymour is also weak to armor break, so that is incredible. We can use Blizzaga from Waka, and then we can also have Yuna use her powerful attacks against him now that his armor is broken. So yeah, I'm feeling more confident now. Now I know what to do. He's about to attack again, so Tidus comes out, Firaga comes out, and yeah, he always attacks each player once, and then he'll select a random person and do his 4th Firaga attack on them. I guess it's like each pallet is attacking because there's like 4 pallets around him, so like it's 1 Firaga for each of the pallets, and that's cool. Well, is it cool? I don't know. It's just a thing. It's just the fight. I don't think this Seymour fight is as cool as the other ones. I think the coolest one was the one on Mount Gagazet. That one, like, he just looks awesome. This one, like, it's hard to see what he even is. Like, the shape of him is very cool, but I wish he was, like, more, you know, more detailed. Instead of just being liquid, I wish it was, like, this cool, like, humanoid-looking thing. That would have made it so much more cool. But, hey, the music kind of makes up for it, I guess. I'm just making sure that each person gets an attack in like I do, getting out that Null Blaze on people, healing everyone up. And yeah, Lulu's making good work of him, you know? It takes her a very long time for her Moogle to, I say Moogle, her cactus. It takes her a very long time for the Cactar to reach him because he's so far away. Everyone's standing so far, so Cactar has to run a marathon just to hit him, and that's not fair. Oh, yeah, cool. You can see here now he's going into his, like, ooky spooky scary phase, and this is where he starts doing some scary So he uses Dispel on us, that removes our haste and gets rid of our Null Blaze, but we don't really need Null Blaze anymore. I do get haste out on us again because haste is important, and I do get Null Blaze out again because I wasn't quite sure what he does here, but turns out I don't need it, and I'm putting the shell back on. So yeah, this is good. I'm making sure that even though he's dispelling us, I'm going to put all the spells back on myself again. And he also gets an increase in defense when he's in this mode. But yeah, here comes Ultima, and I was not sure how much damage this was going to do. Yikes! That's a lot of damage. But Yuna, thank God, she survives. So Tidus had shell on him, and even that wasn't enough. And because he's on Yuna's grid, he has quite high magic defense. But I guess his HP is very low, and yeah, it just wasn't quite enough to survive it. So that's terrifying. That's the only thing we really need to watch out for, because now he's moved into Blizzard. Ooh, he's now changed to use Blizzard attacks. And once he's in this phase, it's not an issue. We just get the Null Frost out onto our party, and suddenly he can't do anything to us. It's just when he goes into his Ultima mode that we need to be a bit scared. But we saw there, Yuna didn't even have shell, and she managed to survive it. So if we get a shell out on her and get some of the other more defensive characters out, we'll be able to survive Ultima no problem. So now that I've figured out what he does, and now that I know that my party is more than capable of handling it, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling like Seymour is not going to be too much trouble. And that's great, because the last Seymour fight was an absolute nightmare. That big old, I don't know what it was, that giant attack that he did that kept killing us over and over again. We don't have to worry about that. Now that I've figured out what he does and what we can do to defeat him, it's just a case of executing it and getting his HP down. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here and show you what happens when he goes into his second form again. So yeah, he gets to spell out once again, so I'm going to make sure I get out Shell again, and I believe I put it onto Lulu, as yeah, I know he's going to cast Ultima again, so I can better prepare. Okay, I give Shell to Yuna, and I'm just going to attack him and see what happens here. We're still doing good damage to him, to be honest. I thought his defense increased when he was in this phase, but it seems it doesn't. He's still taking 8,000 damage. Cactar takes 10 years to get over to him, but yeah, 7,000 damage, we're looking good. And he doesn't even get the second Ultima out, he just goes down, because my gals, Lulu and Yuna, they're just too powerful. So yeah, thank God, no more Seymour, he's finally gone, and that ends his arc. There is no more Seymour, and he starts off as quite a cool villain, you know, he's kind of ooky, spooky, mysterious, and then he just goes a little bit off the rails. He's just kind of mental, but I don't know why Yuna didn't send him way before this. Like, she's had so many opportunities to send him, and also we figure out that Auron is dead, spoiler alert, so why is he not being sent at the moment? Because she's performing an ascending, and he's like right behind her, so why is he not disappearing as well? But yeah, see you later, Seymour. It was nice knowing you, mate. Okay, fab, so he is dead now, Seymour is no more, and we're at the final parts of the game here. We're at the final dungeon, getting towards the final boss. So the enemies in this part of the game are super duper hard. They were hard in the bit before the Seymour fight, but like, these enemies take it to a next level. And you can see that with this fight here. I went in quite unprepared. I just sort of thought, yeah, we're strong enough. I'm just going to go in and kill everything because, hey, I've got Yuna on my team and there's nothing Yuna can't handle. But yeah, this Demonolith, I believe it's called, it's a very tricky enemy because it's got a lot of armor and it always counterattacks with that Pharaoh's Curse. And we do have auto med on Auron, but Auron's strength is just not quite where I want it to be, so we won't really be using Auron very much. And yeah, luckily we have people like Riku and our other white mages to cure the status effects, but yeah, he uses Stone Breath, and I didn't have any protection for stone on me, so everybody died, and I had to start again. Luckily I saved before the last Seymour fight, so it was okay. This is another enemy here that's very tricky, the, oh god, what's he called? The Behemoth? And yeah, that is what it's called. I'm doing pretty well. Usually I just give them a silly name, but I remember these guys for some reason, and I remember the Behemoth because he's in a lot of Final Fantasy games, and he's a problem. He's a very strong enemy. very cool looking. Like look at the size of him. He's just this big old beast with a mohawk that goes all the way down to his tail. Like his mohawk starts at the tip of his forehead and goes all the way back to the tip of his tail. That's pretty exciting. I like that. Very fun. He's very veiny as well. But yeah, tricky fight. Fundara there does a lot of damage to Tidus, and it's only a level 2 black magic spell, and Tidus has a lot of magic defense, so the fact they did that much damage is like, eek! Yikes, but yeah, the reason why this guy is quite challenging, you do face behemoths in other parts of the game, I believe, but this behemoth is different. Like you fight these in Mount Gagazet as well. This behemoth in particular has an overkill thing. Not an overkill thing, it's like an on-death effect. So when he dies, he casts Meteor, which absolutely obliterates us. And yeah, you'll see that in a second here. He also can cast Mighty Guard on himself, which gives him Protect, gives him Shell, and gives him Null to every single element. But luckily Dispel gets rid of all of that, so not too much of a problem. If I was using Limit Breaks, then Kimahri could steal that Mighty Guard, which is really good. It's actually a super handy defensive overdrive. But we're not using overdrive, so we don't bother learning it. Yuna takes him down, and the meteor comes out, and I'm like, right, I've got my 3 strong boys out. Lulu just survives on 300 HP. Yikes. Okay, we've made it to the final boss, and now here's the last bit of leveling. And you can see there Kimahri has just finished Tidus's grid. He's just learned Quick Hit, which is a super broken technique. And now I'm going to send him over here using a Return Sphere. And if I use a level, is that level 2 or level 1? If I use a level 1 Key Sphere here, it will actually get me onto Auron's grid, which is, you know, the grid with all the strength on it. So now Kimahri is just going to start growing in strength, because that's all we really need now. And yeah, you can see here, Tidus has also learned Holy, which is a super powerful white magic spell, and Auron has learned Flare. I go ahead and teach Tidus Flare with a black magic sphere. And now for the final time, let's take a look at everybody's stats. So here is Wakka's final stats, and yep, he is definitely very Lulu looking. And as you can see here, this is Tidus's final stats, and yep, it's very Yuna looking, but obviously with more strength, because he starts out with more strength. Kimahri has grown into such a wonderful attacking person. I don't know how to describe it. His strength and agility has grown, and he's like really awesome to use, and I like him very much. And here is Auron. He's fallen off a bit. He started off really good, but his strength has not kept up with everyone else's. He's only handy really for his Albed potions. And Yuna now is super strong, 72 strength. Like, we know she's a boss. We can move past that. And hey, Riku's strength has gone up quite a lot now. Since she's been on Wakka's grid, it's increased quite a lot. But her magic is also really good, so definitely filling that red mage role. And here is Lulu. She's kind of just like a second Yuna to me, you know. She's not as strong as Yuna, but she's still pretty strong. And her accuracy is super good now. Great evasion, just great stats in general. Before we get on to the final boss, you have this weird little mini game where you have to collect items, and we get this infinity weapon for Riku. It gives her 1 MP cost, so I go ahead and teach her Kiraga just so she has that, and I go ahead and teach Flare to Wakka since he is the black mage. But yeah, it's time to finally confront our dad, Tidus's dad. We do not share the same father of Tidus. Yeah, the dialogue here is like Final Fantasy X-ish.
Dad? Yeah. I hate you.
Like, it's so silly and like baby-y, but it's funny, you know. It's a big epic moment. Tidus has finally come to confront his dad, and he just goes, I hate you. But that's exactly what you'd expect from Tidus, right? And yeah, now we have Braska's final Aeon, Jecht in his like super scary Aeon form. And this is so freaking cool. And the music here, the music is just like, whoa, what an epic way to have like a final fight. Let's get into it.
I promise this will be quick! Hit me with all you got, Dad!
Daddy?
Here we go, Braska's final Aeon time, and let me tell you, I was not prepared for this. Usually at this stage of the game, I've got all the celestial weapons, you know, everyone's broken, I've done all the after late game stuff that you can do in this game. Or I'll just send out Bahamut, use my overdrives. Like, there's so many ways to just cheat a lot of the boss battles in this game once you get to a certain point. And yeah, I've never had trouble with him because I'm always broken. This is like the most underpowered I've ever been going into this fight, and without having to use summons to rely on. And this boss battle is really, 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 really hard. I had a lot of trouble with this, and you'll see just how many times it takes me to kill him. It ain't funny. Well, it's kind of funny. I don't know, you can laugh at me if you want, I don't mind. But at the time I was getting so frustrated because I was like, this guy is just too tough. But I didn't want to overgrind, and you'll see I don't overgrind at all. I figure out a tactic eventually, but it takes a while. Here is Braska's final Aeon. He has these two little pagodas, is that how you say it? U-pagodas. And they can like heal him up and do special things, and they have a bit of health. They have about 5,000 health, but it like increases every time you kill them. But you have to kill them because they'll boost his overdrive gauge and they'll give him health. So you want to get those out of the way. Now, Jet can also do this jet beam, as you just saw, which petrifies one of your characters. Bit annoying. Now I know that. I know to protect against petrification in my armor. And yeah, he's also very quick. He's got a lot of like big damaging effects. He can hit multiple people. But yeah, you can see Jet Beam is just doing a number on our team. We've got 2 people petrified. Yeah, I thought this would be a cakewalk. Turns out it's actually very difficult. And there's also a second phase to this guy's fight. He starts off really hard, but he only gets harder. And when his overdrive gets filled up, that is a very big problem for us, we soon find out. And yeah, it just takes a lot of trial and error. The best sort of tactics I have is to double cast Flare, but it doesn't do enough damage to one-shot these pagodas. You see, I sort of like experiment by using Tidus to use Flare, and I teach him double cast eventually. I don't think I have it here in this first fight, but I want as much magic stats as possible to be thrown at these pagodas, because I want them to go down, preferably in one hit, because it just makes my life much easier. I'm sort of going through all of the items, sort of just seeing what I can do, because I'm like, it's the last fight, and I have lots of items, so if there's ever a time to use them, now is the time, right? And you'll see when I get to like the final part of this, there's a certain item that I didn't even know existed. I've never even used in this game before, but there's an item that we use that ensures our victory towards the end. That is kind of a spoiler, but like obviously I'm going to beat him in the end. Like why would I leave this challenge run without defeating the final Aeon? So spoiler alert, I do kill him, but it's definitely the hardest part of this game. And yeah, look how much damage he does to us. I don't know what his overdrive does yet, so I'm just like, I'm just going to keep attacking and see what happens. He's nearly dead, so I'm like, okay, he's not even going to get his overdrive out. This is easy. He goes for another jet beam here. Poor Lulu, she's petrified. I thought once I got his HP down, he would be dead. But you'll see I'm very wrong about that. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bother going for the pagodas because he's basically dead. But here comes his overdrive. Yes, he's dead. I did it. Nope. It's now just time for him to turn into his second form. And this is quite cool actually. He's like, right, I'm done playing around. Oof, it lights up at the back. And he's like, I need my big ass sword. So I'm going to pull it out of my chest. And sorry to hear, but you are all about to die. And yeah, he goes for Triumphant Grasp. This is his overdrive, so it does a little bit of damage to us. And I say a little bit of damage, he does quite a bit of damage to us. And then quite a bit more of damage to us. And I'm like, oof, okay, we managed to survive it though, so that's pretty good. Let's cure up Lulu. And we will continue to go from there. They're powering up Jekt as we speak. And I'm quite surprised I managed to survive that, to be honest, but look how much health he has. Oh, it's going to take so long. Like, our hits just don't do much damage. Our best bet, of course, is Yuna. And she does have Armor Break, and Armor Break does work on him, but it's going to take time. And now the pagodas have really high HP. Like, that one has 15,000 HP. And it's like, what? It's going to take me more hits to kill the pagodas. We don't have enough speed. Yeah, he goes for this sword attack and just completely obliterates Tidus and Yuna. And now it's just Lulu on her own, and she can't seem to get a turn in. He's just attacking her, and then they're cursing her, and there's just not much she can do at this point. She's now asleep and poisoned, and that's it. That's our first game over against this guy. It's a problem. So we try again, and this is our second attempt here. You can see he goes for Triumphant Grasp again. Everybody dies. So, okay, second attempt didn't go too well. I'm just going to keep on trying. So this is the third attempt now, and look, same thing happens again. No luck. And I actually got really frustrated at this point. I had to have a break for the game for a little bit because it really annoyed me. So I decided to have a little rest and come back to this the next day with a fresh mind. Okay, so it's the next day. I've had time to think, I've had time to adjust, I've had time to reconvene myself, and I'm like, right, what can I do to best increase my chances of winning? So I teach Yuna quick hit, and I'm just going to go back in and see what happens. And of course I die. But I did get a lot closer this time, so this next attempt now, I'm feeling good, and I'm going to show you the strategy we used for this next attempt here. So this is like my 5th attempt at this point, so I know what this guy does, I know how he behaves, I know the sort of attacks he does. It seems it's kind of random whether he uses Eject Beam or that little like palm attack that you just saw. So yeah, Eject Beam is the only thing that's actually a problem because of the petrification. But I believe I gave petrification armor to Auron and maybe one other character, but there's 3 characters in particular that I end up using for most of the fight, and you will soon see why. Yeah, I don't bother switching out into everyone because I'm like, nobody even needs experience anymore, so why am I bothering to even do that? And I believe this is the party. These are the 3 that end up doing it for us. And we've got really high magic on Tidus, and we've got really high strength on Yuna, and we've got good tech options with Auron. He's got that auto med, he's also got Albed potions, and he's also immune to petrification, so Auron becomes our sort of like techie slot, I guess. We make sure that Tidus has dual cast and flare, which takes care of the pagodas. We also increased his magic a bit using, I think it's like an attribute sphere that you get during the little mini game thing you have to do before where you collect all the items. And yeah, I'm just searching through my items, looking for something that will help me win. And ooh, I find a stamina tablet, which doubles our maximum HP. Where we got that from, I have no idea, but we have 2 of them. Where we got 2 stamina tablets from, I don't know, but I'm glad we got them. So yeah, I make sure I get one on Tidus, because Tidus is very handy with his magic spells, and then I use the other one on Yuna, I believe, just because Yuna has a lot of strength, and I believe she has alchemy as well, so if anyone gets KO'd, she can revive them with a Phoenix Down for free. Well, not for free. Well, yeah, it's for free. It uses a Phoenix Down, but what I meant to say was it heals you back up to full health. So I get my stamina tablet out onto Yuna, and now we are sitting pretty. You know, there's we still have to worry because he's still a tough battle, but there's a lot of things that do like 3,000 damage, 4,000 damage. You know, sometimes he gets multiple turns in, and it just means that like now we can survive that. Yuna's got 9999 HP. And I'm feeling a lot better about this, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the easiest thing in the world. I get Kimahri out to use haste on himself, as Kimahri just has more strength than Auron does. So on the turns that we don't need Auron's sort of techie capabilities, we can swap into Kimahri and use Kimahri to do some damage to him. And yeah, the first phase of this fight I've got down to a T, like it's really not that difficult, it's actually quite simple. Protect is also very handy, so we get Protect out. Ah, see, it's Yuna. Yuna is the one who also has petrification protection. And he goes for her a couple of times with Eject Beam, I think. So we got very lucky with that he only went for Yuna. Yeah, I'm feeling proper good. We got Cheer with Kimahri. We've got Protect on everyone to make sure we're doing less damage. So I'm just making sure in this first phase where he's not too dangerous, we're setting up enough to survive when he gets into his super strong, scary phase. So I think that's what I was missing. Obviously, the stamina tablets really do help, but I do think with more Cheers and Protect and everything, I would have defeated this monster without the stamina tablets, possibly. And it kind of feels like cheating, but it's not cheating. It's in the game. I had it in my items, and I used it. So, yeah, you could see there. I only took 900 damage from that attack, which is awesome. I go ahead and get some focuses out from Waka, because I just want Tidus to be able to one-shot the pagodas each time. But they come back with more health, as I've said a million times. So using focus just ensures that we have more magic. And yeah, obviously double casting flare uses a lot of MP, but we have turbo ethers, we've got loads of items, because I don't really use items too much, besides high potions and things like that. All the like ethers and all the special elixirs and mega elixirs, I tend to save them for moments like this, because I don't like to waste them on anything, you know. I want to make sure I'm using them at really tough enemies like this. Okay, his overdrive gauge is full, and we know that Triumphant Grasp is going to come out. And I think any one of these characters should be able to survive it. We go for a power break just to make sure that he's doing less damage. So we've got Protect, we've got Cheer, we've got Armor Break, we've got Power Break. This should be fine. He grabs Kamari, which is not the best person he could have chose, but 1200 damage and then 1100 damage. That was his overdrive. That was fine. That was a 2000 damage attack to one character. Awesome. It does get zombie out on him, but we can just cure that off. And go for some Albed potions just to get everyone back to full health again. And yeah, we've taken Tidus out because we didn't really need him. We just want to do physical damage, but I bring him back in whenever the pagodas are back because that is just the best way to deal with them. I'm not sure if Flare is going to be able to kill them. It doesn't quite kill him, but that's fine. We do get the kill out onto Jekt. And now it's time for the dreaded second phase, and I barely ever survive the second phase, so I'm set up pretty well. So I'm feeling fairly confident, but not like the most confident, because I know that this guy can do some serious damage. But let's see how it goes here. So he always goes for this big sweepy attack when he transforms, and pathetic. It did less than 1,000 damage to us. That usually does like over 2,000 to us. And you saw in the first fight, it did like 3,000. So you can see with Protect, Armor Break, Power Break, all of that, it's made it super easy. Just replenishing Tidus's MP because he's going through it with Flare. Flare costs 54 MP, and we're double casting it. So that's almost 100 MP like per turn, and he doesn't have that much MP. Yeah, you can see Aeon there is still taking a lot. I think the Power Break must have worn off because suddenly we're taking lots of damage. Yeah, it has. Oh, it's worn off because he's transformed. So we get Armor Break off again. We get Power Break off again. The tactic is here. Like, we know what we're doing now. Like, we've got this. Gonna make sure everyone's got Protect. I give Protect to Aeon just because I don't want him to get too hurt. Aeon is immune to petrification too because of that armor. Ah, so good. Like, this is probably what I should have been doing the whole run, is, you know, getting armors and weapons that best suit each boss. But this is the first time I've had to like properly think about what I'm doing and properly think about how to defeat an enemy. And that's cool. It's really, really fun. You know, if this was a harder challenge, I'd probably do that more. Oh yeah, I've been forgetting to use Quick Hit. I purposely got Quick Hit and I completely forgot to use it. But I use it towards the end here, so that's pretty good. But you can see now he's barely got any health left, and I'm like, I think it's actually going to happen. I think this is where we kill Jekt. I'm just deciding here whether I want to bother killing the pagodas, and I do go for it just because I want to be safe. I don't want to get too cocky and just go for Jekt and then all of a sudden, you know, some crazy madness happens and I'm like, why didn't I kill the pagodas? So making sure to do that. Getting another focus out so that Tidus can kill this guy in one hit. Let's see if we can. He's got 7,000 HP. Did 8,000 to that one, and we did 8,000 to that one. So both the pagodas are dead. This is it now. His overdrive gauge is nearly full, but 60,000 HP. It's so close. Okay, he might be able to get another overdrive off, but I'm hoping we'll be okay. We're going to use Quick Hit with Kimari, who's now doing quad 9 damage. Pretty cool. And yeah, we're just going to make sure that we are healed up and that we have, you know, all the necessary protect things on us. And it seems we do. We can survive an overdraft, it seems. Overdraft and overdrive. Jekt's Beam comes out again. It goes for Yuna. She's got petrification armor. We're getting so lucky with that. But after how many attempts this took us, I think we deserve some good luck. We had a lot of good luck this run. And we got a lot of bad luck against this guy. So it's nice that it's finally repaying us. And it's putting this thing to rest. So here comes his ultimate Jekt shot overdrive. And this is a cool ass attack. It's kind of like Holy at the beginning. And then we're like teleported into space and this giant meteor comes down and he chucks it up in the air and throws it at us and then explosions happen. Does a lot of damage, but not too much. Nobody even died from that. So not bad at all. And they didn't even have the stamina tablets on them. Kimari and Aeon anyway. Yuna did, but yeah, we could have survived without that. And now that his overdrives come out, we don't really care to get rid of the pagodas because he's going to die soon. And that's it. The final hit happens. We did it. We actually did it. And Yu Yevon has now left his body. And of course this isn't the end. There is a boss battle against Yevon, but we have auto revive on us, so it's not really a challenge at all. I don't really need to show you that, to be honest, but yeah, I'll just show you quickly what happens at the end here. We just cast Doom on the Yevon character, Yevon guy. He's like a little spider thing. He's quite cute actually. But yeah, we have a Candle of Life. We put Doom on him. Doom just kills him in 3 turns. We didn't really need to worry about that, because even when we die, you see those little halos, they bring us back to life. So yeah, that's it. That is the run. That is the last boss defeated, and it's just time for the ending and the end credits. We did it, guys. We did it. And now everyone in Spira's like, woo, yeah, you did it, woo, go guys, we love you, yeah, everyone's the best, Tidus is awesome, Yuna's awesome. And then we get a nice little farewell to Auron. He gets like a little death scene. He's like, I've accomplished my mission, and it's time for me to go to the far plane. And that's Auron gone. And now we get the rest of the ending, where unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Tidus. And this is proper emotional. Like, I'm not the kind of person that cries at, you know, films or video games. Like, I'm aware that it's just art and it doesn't, you know, make me feel anything. But I say that this game brings me close to tears, I will say. Because you just want these two to be together, and like, they just have such a good connection. And it's like they've finally accomplished everything. They can finally be together and be happy. But they can't, because Tidus has to disappear. And like, oh god, it's just so sad. Like, Yuna deserves the world. She deserves everything, and she does so much, and she does everything correctly. She's brought peace to Spira, but she can't be with the one she loves. And then she finally says it.
I love you.
And it's like, ah! She loves him! But Tidus doesn't say it back, which is kind of mean, but I think he was just trying to be like, I don't want to make it too hard for you. And it's beautiful. You know, you want these characters to just have the best in life, and you know, it's like a happy ending but a sad ending at the same time, and it's just beautiful. What a beautiful game. Like, this game means so much to me, without sounding too cringe. You know what? I don't care if I sound cringe. This game is just like everything to me. I grew up with this game, and it taught me so much about narrative and story, and you know, how to create a compelling story. And I just think it's magical. Whenever I think of like a happy place, I think about this game. And I know that sounds way too deep for just like a little silly game, but it really resonated with me as a kid, and it still does to this day. And yeah, Tidus is now going to the far plane because he's a dream or something.
Yes, you're a dream.
And he gives his dad a little high five, and it's all over. So that's it, folks. That's all you're going to get from me. That is the end of the game. And I want to thank everyone for watching this and tuning in. I first made this just as like a little experiment, just to see if I could do it, because I enjoy editing and I enjoy this game, so I just wanted to see if I could make something out of it. And I never expected it to gain the amount of traction that it does, so I'm super grateful, and I want to make sure that people still get content from me. So let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll try and make some more stuff. But yeah, make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm also going to direct you to my other YouTube channel, which is Super Promo. And that is more of a personal account that I run with one of my friends. And we are trying to make a TV series come to life that we have been writing together. And we've got a GoFundMe for it. So I'd really appreciate it if you checked out that channel, subscribed and contributed to the GoFundMe if you can. Don't worry if you can't, but the option is there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. My name has been Jamsack. See you later.